Pogba will leave it for Rashford. He strikes. Oh, it's a goal! Staying on his feet this time. They went for Martial. Lovely touch by Fernandes. Cavani! Rashford all the way across goal. What a finish!
Welcome everyone and welcome to All In All United. We've been given the little opportunity to get some respite here. You know, we get to rest off Man United and laugh at other clubs' failure, right? Amidst our failure, right? I think Nico, you did message me sometime and you tell me as a Liverpool fan tell you that this season was a massive failure for them. You know, and I mean, whether I agree, right? Whether, but it's kind of you know damning on us that they would have won 2 trophies. You know, push City to the last day, right? And they call it a failure. What I can say about this season, boy?
That's the
You know,
standards, and you,
yeah,
yeah, that is standards.
standards have really changed and fallen so badly that you know. Anyway, but we go enjoy, as I said before, we go enjoy the fact that Liverpool. I don't know about all your fellas, but Liverpool wasn't my favorite to win that final. They couldn't now win it, you know. And Hala Madrid
Never.
Saturday, right?
I can't support Liverpool.
Yeah,
I don't care
yeah.
nothing about English league. Nah, not Liverpool.
Yeah, I'm telling you, yeah, because that was the slant some of them were training, you know, the English Premier League, you know, let them win. So I said not Liverpool, somebody else. Let me Man United,
Not
right?
Liverpool.
Yeah. So fellas, how we going? How we going? It's been a while. It's been 2 weeks, I think. Has it
2 weeks?
since?
I feel
It's
like
2
it was a
weeks.
week. Wasn't a week? I feel like it was
Yeah,
last week Monday. We were saying, wasn't last week Monday?
I
Wow.
don't think so. You know, it's been 2 weeks since.
Been
I
a,
was on
it's been a
work,
while
man.
for me.
I was
Yeah,
on
listen,
work, so
It's
it had to
been
be.
a minute, boy.
it has been. You know,
I
so how we
was on
fellas?
work last time we were here, man. So that's a week.
No,
Yeah,
I
it was.
think we didn't have a show last week. We had a show last week, fellas.
Yes, we did.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, when Man United playing it, just feels so long, eh, but yet when they're playing it, it feels so long, you know. So guys, see what we're doing this evening, right? As you can see in the runner, we're going to take a look back at this season, right?
I wonder.
And Jody on the inside, welcome, buddy. Thanks for
Hey,
joining.
Jody.
Saying, blessed night, Manchester United or nothing. Yeah, yeah. So what we're gonna do this evening, fellas, is we're gonna look back at this season, but in a different way, right? So we want to identify the player of the season, the flop of the season, right? The most improved player, the biggest regressor, the unsung hero, and the signing of the season, right? So
For
we're
Manchester.
going for Manchester United.
Son. Wow.
Watch me. Give me the strength, Lord, right? I don't know how we're going through this.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know how we're
I
gonna do
feel
this,
like
but we're gonna.
I feel on a commercial break I had to take a drink, yes, because but
Right? So before we get into it, let me just get some comments here. We have Aaron on the inside. Good night, buddy. Thanks for joining.
And I
And
good
we
night, good
also
night.
have Rian on the inside, buddy. Thanks, man. He's saying so sad we can't remember the last time man you played. Talk about levels. Yeah, boy. Yeah, I'm telling
Yeah,
you.
boy.
I'm telling you. You
Yeah.
know, don't forget, guys, to share. You know the podcast. You know, like so we can get more people in on the content. And guys in the comments, feel free to contribute to this conversation and discussion this evening, right? So, fellas, let me get into it, right? So we want to look back at Man United's 21-22 season. And fellas, who was your player? Now I know it could be difficult, eh?
You started with the season?
Alright, which one do you think I should start with?
Start
So we have
on the last one you say come back.
Man,
The
start,
signing- this-
start on a positive and end on a negative. I don't know how many
Alright.
times.
Yeah, no,
Nah, but
no,
the
you
order-
don't want to start on a negative and end on a positive now.
Alright, so I will see.
I got a feeling we got more to talk about when it comes to the negative. That way, say start on the positive. Right? Up to you guys. Bro. Up to you guys.
Because how I have it listed here, starting on a positive and ending on a positive, so we keep it negative
All
in the
right,
middle.
so yeah, let's do that.
You know?
Fair enough, yeah.
Yeah. Right. So, fellas, let me look at the signing of the season, right? After last season, coming into this season,
Let me make some notes here, yes?
yeah. Make
That's it.
necessary notes, man.
No,
We can
you,
sign it.
you have to remind me who we signed.
So we
Get
signed-
moved on.
Signing of the season, Cristiano Ronaldo.
Right, so we signed Ronaldo, we signed Sancho, we signed Varane,
And
I think,
that's it.
and
Yeah.
Tom Heaton. Tom Heaton.
Man,
Come on, man.
The man is a signing, we signed him, so we had to ask me for all the signings, Saturday, who we signed. Right?
That's all we signed, boy.
So we only signed four players, right? But
And
I mean,
I really three, but alright.
yeah. So who's starting it off?
I got say something different to Chef though. I agree with Chef, but I got put a little spin on it. But whoever want to start, because I go. All right. So Chef is right. Signing of the season is Cristiano Ronaldo. But if I had to get a bit more technical, we technically signed Eric Ten Hag before the season was out as well. Too, okay? But I ain't gonna get too technical, right? I 100% agree with Chef that Cristiano Ronaldo was the signing of the season for us. A lot of people were divided on the fence come during the season because I think we were just catering to him. By the end of the day, the guy is our top scorer. So
Yeah.
Right, Chef?
Yeah, so as I said, my signing of the season definitely is the GOAT, the greatest ever, my player, the Manchester legend himself, Cristiano Ronaldo. I never believed that I would get to see him in our colors again. So that was a great thing to see. It was a little not a little, it was very disappointing that that was the cast he had to play with, and that was the performances he had to endure. But I guess it is what it is. Sancho eventually came into his own. You know, I think the dude has a bright future with us. I think he should be okay. Who else we signed? Varane. Boy, that's what they get when you sign injury plagued players with big name. So we get what we deserve with that. So yeah,
Yeah,
All
I
right.
guess
Nico, before you, let me just
Yeah.
get two comments here, right? Davindra on the inside. Good night, buddy. Thanks for joining. He's saying signing of the season, Ralph. I don't know. Nico might agree with you on that one.
it's sad, yes.
Go through,
Sad.
Nico.
Yeah, I don't think I think that's a unanimous decision. I think that might be one of the easiest decisions we will make for the night in terms of the signing of the season. You know, I think we had Varane. We had Varane before Ronaldo, and until that point, you know, the first game of the season when Varane would have came out, you know, with that jersey, that big number 19 jersey, you know what I mean? He stole the show now. And we say, ah, boy, finally got a proper defender, you know? Up to that point, Varane was looking like the man, you know, until Ronaldo came and stole the show now. You know, as much
until
as
Varane started looking like Varane.
it was really until Varane got injured, you know, and then he had to be doing a lot of mopping up for Maguire too. You know, so he was playing for himself and for Maguire, you know, and then when he got injured, he has to take 1 or 2 games to get back into the rhythm now. You know, and I think United they don't have that. You don't have that kind of luxury of 1 or 2 games when you play with the midfield we played with this season. You know, and the defense we had, you know, you had to hit the ground cracking, and I guess he wasn't able to do that. You know, so unanimously, definitely Cristiano Ronaldo, with his goals, and not only goals but hat tricks now. Not only one hat trick, you know. So that alone in itself shows that undisputedly, definitely the signing of the season.
Yeah. I don't know, I kind of feel differently, but because it's like he's the best of the worst, right? Because I don't really think, his performances, his statistics, would say that, we could not have done what we did without him, right? But in terms of where the team could have gone had we not signed him, I just saying, right? Chances are our season could have panned out differently, right? But I know the question. The question is who's the signing of the season, and based on the statistics, it will show that Ronaldo is probably that guy. So, I mean, it was a unanimous decision, I guess, yeah. Right?
Yeah.
So we're going on to the flop of the season, fellas. The flop of the season. Who
Could we
flopped?
That's
have-
real long. Yeah.
could we have
real
flop?
long. Well,
Well, here what we gonna do, right? We will just go. We will first round gonna be the top of the list, the top of your list, right? Cause I know watch my that list gonna be long for everybody here, right?
That
But
list
we're gonna be
real.
top of the
I only
list.
got
That
two
list
people
could be
here.
that list could be everybody else besides the and Ronaldo. You know?
that is real long.
Take your pick.
Why?
So-
That is
so
real long.
fellas-
boy.
So here we're going on. We're looking at who on top of your list, right?
That's right there, Matai.
On top of my list,
Matai.
I think that will be unanimous too. But okay,
Hey,
Go-
right
so
there,
go-
Matai.
go-
boy.
I could get mine out the way. I have two names, but I'll call one name first, and then I'll call the second name afterwards, right? So, my flop.
This list real long, boy.
Nah, I only got two. Well, yeah, I only got two. My regressor of the season list long, but we could get to it later on, right? My first flop of the season, believe it or not, is Rafael Varane, right?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Rafael Varane is my flop of the
Oh.
season because the best ability is availability, right? And
I
Rafael
could
Varane,
I could get to that.
yeah. And Rafael Varane was not available for us during the majority of the season, and we had to solely rely on Harry Maguire, right? And that's not a guy that most Man United fans are for, right? That's my first flop of the season, and my second flop is Edison Cavani, right? Edison Cavani has more vacation days than goals this season, right? And it all goes back to the best ability is availability, right?
This
So,
list is real long, boy.
yeah, so
But
my
300
two flops.
For 300,000 a week.
Yeah, so my two
And I
flops
think-
are, yeah.
I think I could understand the whole Varane thing because, as Nico was saying, with the whole presentation to the fans, with he walking out, before the game, we were expecting so much from Varane. So yeah, so I could see where you're coming from with that one, with the flop. John Paul on the inside, thanks for joining. JP, he's saying here flop of the season and in full caps only Harry Maguire.
So here's the thing, right?
Go through.
Because I feel it's easy to say Harry Maguire.
Correct.
So how about we just take out Maguire out of the thing?
Yeah, he's a default. He's a default.
Let me take out Maguire out of it now because it's not given.
Is that
Harry?
good?
Captain Harry Maguire was abject nonsense. So let's take him out. Let's take it. It will be too easy to call him.
It too easy, ain't?
It will be too easy. So let me take him out and let me get two others.
Two others, right? Two others. I take out Harry and I have two others, right?
Right. Nico, you going now?
I got
Yeah,
one more. I got one more flop
that's
as
it.
well too. I
This
got
thing-
one more flop as well too. But
Phil, I want more. Go ahead, Phil.
well, a name just came to mind, and believe it or not, another flop of the season is Mason Greenwood.
Who?
Mason Greenwood.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I can just leave it as that because of the obvious. You guys can go along now.
All right. Let me go. My flop of the season as Sheffield has said, put Harry Maguire out of the way because he would have just stole. He'd have take this shit.
Yeah, he's still first. He's still
Yeah.
first. But we go get much
He's
anyway.
undisputed. He way
Yeah,
up.
that makes sense.
You see,
He a whole stratosphere shit on this.
By himself.
by himself.
You see how Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo take the Ballon d'Or every year? Harry Maguire take the Ballon d'Or every year, man. So
Yeah. He take the garbage the lawn, wherever.
But go through, Nico.
Yeah. My flop will be Rashford, but any number one. The number one for me is Rashford. You know.
Right.
You know, with a going the season saying, well, all right, Rashford injured. You know, he had his shoulder surgery, and even before that, because you had to do surgery, right? You know, you had an issue. You went on your bench for England for the whole of the Euros, right? Not caring about Manchester United. After the Euros, you went and you do your surgery, thinking, well, all right, well, after Rashford recover, we will get something from Rashford. And Rashford was rubbish for the entire season. How much goals Rashford scored? Anybody know how much goals Rashford scored? How much assists he had?
Rashford was good for 2 games.
2 games? Yeah, you real good boy.
No, and you know why?
Why?
Because he was so much rubbish. He was good for 2 games, and then was 2 games when he came off the bench and he scored.
Yeah.
Yeah, he scored the winner versus West Ham.
Yeah. Other than that, rubbish.
So for me, you know, sometimes it has some players you're looking forward to, and even when Ralph came, you saw that, you know, he wasn't interested. You know, by me business, whatever happened in the season, you know, is whatever, you know. So for me, Rashford was really disappointing this season. The other one, which will be a bit controversial, especially knowing the West Ham game, he would have played a big part in it. Would have been Ream Anthony Martial. You know?
They still call Martial. Martial wasn't even there for half a season.
No,
They call him.
let me tell you why.
Wicked boy.
Let me tell you why.
I confused.
Let me tell you why.
Talk about players who actually went the red shirt and played to now.
No, so he's a Manchester United player. He's a Manchester United player, right? So he said he want to go, right? He and my boy Ralph at the big bus stop. We know Ralph straight out, right? Ralph, to me, still Ralph don't lie. Ralph will say, yeah, we see, I do it and I do it, right? Marshall threw him under the bus. He tried to throw Marshall under the bus. And it didn't work out. Martial gone, right? So Martial gone now to all this fanfare in Sevilla, right? And he scored 1 goal. Not even 1 goal. No.
That's the beer property season, not ours.
No, he's still a Manchester United player. So, under all of that, Martial, you know, I know it's a bit controversial, but I'm a second one.
Now, let fellas have agendas. You go on quite Spain to call a flop. Well, fellas,
I'm a Manchester United player.
But how he wasn't playing with Man United? I don't understand. It's something like McTominay and you will go quite Spain to call Martial name.
Oh,
Well, fellas, wicked we? Or let's come
Alright,
out.
go ahead.
My picks. So I have 3.
Right.
Starting with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Let me tell you something, And men didn't like when I said it. When we come second, I told men, Ole, do not get tied up with that. We come second in playing our brand. We come second because the top teams was having an off year. That man needs to come back next season with a plan and a way forward, or we will get relics. I say that, men tell me, Damien, Chef, you can't be so negative. I say, all right, partner. We start the season, we win a game, men get gladdy. And then it was downhill.
And fast,
it was downhill.
Downhill and fast.
He had to take blame for several things. I personally find his management of his squad was deplorable. You have
men contract for nothing. You
giving men contract for
But
what?
that wasn't Oli though. Like a few
Yeah.
levels on Oli.
Of course, he part of it.
Yeah.
I don't know how much of a say Oli would have with that. I mean, he may have made a recommendation, but I don't know
Aye.
if it was on him totally.
Lingard cannot go away. Is he tell the boy you're getting sweat, come back? To do what? You have matter. You have a class player. Listen, and we said it right in here so much times. There was a lot of games. Bruno Fernandes could have bench. Pogba could have bench. And you play matter. So Ole had to take real blame for how bad our season was. He empowered too much clownish players. Players who weren't deserving, he empowered them. And he had to take even more blame because is he captain Harry Maguire?
Ooh.
Right. That Ole. Out of the way. Luke Shaw. Done.
Yeah, boy. Roberto
It's
Carlos
plenty.
Hey, boy.
for
No,
6
but
months.
it's
you know.
plenty. Watch what we whole squad could be. In this list. This
Boy,
squad.
Yeah.
That was just a bit controversial, but
Our whole
that's
squad
fine.
could be in this list as
Maybe.
well as in regression.
Mm-hmm.
Chad, we whole squad could be in this way.
But Luke Shaw, where all that form that man had in Euros. All that man just come back this season and just, good God, nonsense. I don't want to call Rashford because again, Nico called Rashford. And much the same like Maguire, Rashford name real easy to call because the child feeder was abject garbage. So, from a third pick, listen, you see Wan Bissaka?
I tell you, whole squad could have been in this
Yeah.
list, man.
Yeah, you could call anybody and we're going to agree with you.
Anybody.
Done. Wan Bissaka ain't even good enough to play for Sawa Djibouti.
Cha.
That is how terrible he was.
Yeah,
That man
yeah,
lose
bad.
all his confidence.
And Jablotti
All-
was a big
all.
team. But I can remember when Sid Gray and them fellas was right back and all kind of thing. You couldn't play for that Sid Gray. You understand?
But Sid Gray could have, if it's one thing you know, Sid Gray's ball or man, it's not the two.
Yeah.
That's a big one and hitting you hard. So yeah, that would be my. Again, I say it. Boy, we could go through that whole squad and call men, but I will go with that.
All right. Let me just get some comments because we had them on the inside here. Jody saying here, Reem just saying, if the team had stepped up to Ronaldo level, it might have been better. But I was one who said I did not really like the signing of Ronaldo. But he was there and he proved everyone wrong. Yeah, I could agree with that. In terms of the ability to get goals, right? Jody saying flop of the season is Rashford and Maguire. 2 for 1 special. Yeah. Yeah. The Vinjo on the inside, he's saying here flop is Rashford. Imagine he's a one number 10 taken over from Rooney after him, Martial and Greenwood was ripping to the end of last season. Alright, and I think when Chef had said, let me take Maguire out because he don't win, right?
Yeah.
JP saying, yeah, that makes sense, right? Darian on the inside, he's saying Bissaka is the flop of the season. Simeon on the inside, thanks for joining, man. He's saying healthy Rashford
Healthy Rashford, what?
is the flop of the season.
So
Right, because-
so whole season. So he take whole season to get healthy. Mind you, he was benching a lot this season because of his nonsense. So he had ample opportunities to get back fit.
Yeah,
He was
and
just
that's what we mean.
nonsense.
Yeah, that's what we mean. That's why you say healthy,
Yeah,
because he was
yeah.
always getting excused because of injuries
Yeah.
before.
Injured. Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, when you listen to other fans, pundits, you at times, I know men looking for explanations of how bad we were and to blame and stuff.
Mhm.
But one of the lamest and nonsensical arguments for me is saying men regress because of Ronaldo. Dan, let me be real, I get into play with arguably one of the greatest players ever. That I am trying to show up. I am trying to really excel and be at this man level. I will regress, boy. That you thinking? So all you're letting that 37-year-old man run harder than all you, get to balls.
Well, not run harder. Go try that one, chef.
No, but you run harder than them fellas.
He run harder than them.
Ronaldo run harder than Basaka. Ronaldo run harder than Basaka.
Don't do that.
Run.
Again, men talking about
Ronaldo
the one Ronaldo to be closing down. Ronaldo wasn't doing that at 27. He wasn't doing that at 17. He would do that at 37.
And
That is
Ralph say
not
that.
his game.
Ralph say that. Ralph say he's not pressing monster. Right?
That is
So I can
not his game.
understand
That is why there's Bella team are behind him who would do that, and he would be there for the goal scoring. The man won 3 Champions League straight with Benzema doing the pressing, winning the ball, and getting it to him for the goals. So I don't want to hear that. That is excuses.
Nice. JP saying here, McTominay and he's sitting full caps. You know, I agree.
Nah.
Full 100.
Nah.
Full 100. I know chef,
Flop.
that's your boy. I know that's your boy.
No, Dan, I just blast man, but we talking about flop of the season, Scott McTominay.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Chef, it could be anybody. It could be anybody.
Yeah, you know what? It could be anybody.
Pick a name out of a hat, man. That's all you
Yeah.
want.
Yeah.
It could be anybody.
He also saying here it's hurting me to type this one, but Rashi.
JP just calling out names, you know. So best you just call the whole squad.
So they're saying McTominay ain't reached nowhere first to be flop. Joey saying Bruno is also on my flop of the season.
Yeah.
Nah,
That might do it.
Nah,
That might.
I'm not putting Bruno in this. Bruno coming next.
Yeah. She's saying here the biggest flop of the season is the board of Manchester United. Wow, yeah.
Yeah, and I
if I-
agree
if I-
because if they did
We
back,
agree with that.
I believe. Yeah, I mean the back Ralph in January. We was making that Champions League.
Yeah.
Alright.
So you're saying, yeah, boy, Bruno Royal drop off.
His name not going under the radar. We have him.
Going
We
under
have
the
a
radar.
next category. He going
Yeah.
to star in.
You got to
Yeah.
stay in that one for sure.
I was Ollie all before the season. Ollie and flop. It's a 360 flip, right where you're supposed to be. Yeah.
Or
Devin just
180.
saying here,
That'll be 180.
sorry. Devin just saying here, the first game of the season versus Leeds, I came on the chat and said, best we stop the clock now and take the title. I'm sure Ollie wouldn't mind now. You know, he had no football to watch after that. Yeah.
Real
Yeah.
pressure, boy. Well,
JP saying here, thank you, Chef. I seen real posts about Ronaldo, but men didn't raise their game. Ronaldo create real space for other men to score, but they just didn't take their chances. And finally, Jody saying here, Ronaldo was in the squad to score goals, which he did. Must appreciate the other tracking back he did and made others look small.
Yep.
All right. My flop of the season going to Marcus Rashford. Right. He have so much in terms of, you know, the media, you know, everything going for him. Right. He, for one, made a bad decision going to the Euros, and probably we could argue why and try to justify why he went, but he didn't play. To boot, you're going on in the final and miss a penalty, right? So that was a bad move for your confidence straight up. Then going into the season, you were supposed to take the surgery before so you could have come ready and fit for a fresh season. You didn't do that, so you went to do your surgery after, and then you started the season, you was behind. Ollie come, and this is why I agree with Chef, with how Ollie managed your team. Ollie come and rush you back into the game, right? And you didn't recover fully, but you still got time to prepare yourself and physically and wherever. You came back and you got games, game time. People saying, play him into form, and we kept seeing rubbish after rubbish. And then people were complaining when Ralph came in how you have to play Rashford into form. Nah, Rashford messed up all his opportunities this season to the point where his body language was so disgusting.
Yep.
Right where you could see like he telling us, I'm not playing for Ralph. Right? I'm not playing. So you pick me at your own risk. And that is for me why Rashford has to get the biggest flop of the season, because everything was working for you, even though you made a foolish decision at the start of the season and you came in, you get opportunities and you decide that, hey, you're winning, you are playing. So take a big L from me, Marcus Rashford.
Agreed.
Right? So that was a positive, then a negative. So the most improved player. The most improved player.
I went with this one first. I went with this one. Right?
Yeah, run with this one.
Yeah, but he started real good and then he gone again. But Fred, for me, I think Fred was the most improved player.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was going real good and then he ended up getting the injury. And then after the injury, I don't know what happened. He reverted the type, as we just normally see on Holland United. After that injury, he reverted the type. He had a factory reset, right? and then he went right back to the rubbish, right? But before that, I think, even if you really look at the resultant of the season, I think Fred would definitely have been my player this season, especially my most improved player for this season, right? Yeah, Devindra, definitely, yeah. I think, yeah. Also, what always played my head with Fred is that goal against Leeds, but and that performance against Leeds. I think that kind of put icing on the cake for me in terms of how much he had improved now. So yeah, my most improved this season is Fred.
So I was analyzing the various categories that Reem gave us, right? So player of the season, and I can have a different player for each category, right? The reason I'm going to choose most improved player as De Gea over Fred is that Fred only started to improve under Ralph. De Gea has been improving this entire season from minute 1 to the Crystal Palace game, right? I think he's been our most improved player because he was given a lot of stick last season and season before. Because don't forget, last season a lot of people were talking about we should have Dean Henderson as the number 1, right? But due to Dean Henderson getting COVID and then trying to find a place into the first team after recovering from COVID, he couldn't displace David De Gea, right? There were many times David De Gea has saved us during this entire season, right? I would say I agree with Nico with regards to if Ralph hadn't signed anybody. If Ralph had signed someone in January, we could have been in the Champions League. But shit, if David De Gea didn't save us this season, we would be in the Conference League, right? So for me, my most improved player for the entire season is David De
Gea.
Yeah.
So could say Fred was pretty decent. Fred really did come into his own. You saw the difference when Fred wasn't there. De Gea, why I wouldn't pick De Gea? Because you know what it was? De Gea basically reverted to the player we know him to be. The dependable, the proper goalkeeper, one of the top goalkeepers in the world. The season before, getting beaten first post. Did he get any goals on first post really this season?
Maybe one or two. Maybe one or two.
My look at it is that in the 2020 to 2021 season, David De Gea was poor. The 2021-2022 season, he improved. That's how I see it, right? So, but I do get where you're coming from, right? So
yeah. So I wouldn't think, but who I would really like to give it to, because he came into a situation not easy as a youth man, but he really gave it his all at times. You see Anthony Elanga.
But you think how he could be most improved when
when
you don't have a foundation to base it on. Because what foundation are you basing it on? You're not 23.
Right. For me, improvement was like this guy was nothing last season, and then he really stepped up.
Chef, you know where Anthony Elanga had to come in? You see, Unsung Hero. I think
Yeah.
that's where he will fit in. Yeah.
Fair enough. I can take that. So yeah, I will go. I agree with them fellas and them. It definitely between Fred and De Gea because I really don't see nothing else show
In
any.
between.
No other player showed upward trajectory.
True.
None.
Yeah, yeah. We got some comments here. Well, we know Davindra say it had to be De Gea, right? JP saying most improved Ilanga based on his step up, but again, if we go back to what them fellas was saying, it had nothing really to
Yeah.
compare it to now. Right? Jody saying here, Fred most improved with Dalo taking advantage of the opportunity given.
You know the sad.
Ooh.
You know the sad thing about saying that about Dalo. Dalo, okay, Dalo did show some. Dalo did improve a little bit at times, but yo, Dalo get caught out when a proper winger hold on to Dalo.
Yeah.
It's
But Dan
beat
Juma,
like a Congo drum, you know.
Dan Juma turn him inside out.
And then with Zaha on the last day,
Zaha rough,
yeah,
man.
do all kind of things. about
Zaha watch a man and say, wait, I remember playing against you in training when I was there. You was nonsense.
He was there
Food.
when Zaha was there. I don't think so.
Nah, I don't think Zaha
Yeah.
was there when
yeah.
Dalo came.
Because Mourinho would have bought
Dalo.
Dalo,
Yeah.
right? And Fergie would have bought Zaha.
Anyhow, he see Dalo and he see Sunday lunch, macaroni pie, callaloo, potato salad.
And he
He
eat
say,
that
oh yes, I
belly
will.
full.
That is rip.
Yeah, belly full. Jody saying, right, so I got that one. JP saying here, why I wouldn't say the hair is because he went back to what we know. He didn't really become a better version of what we know him to be. And I think Chef was saying that. All right. Simeon saying Phil Jones, simple. Yeah.
Simeon time to go
Again,
and
yeah, real jokes, but yeah, real jokes.
Pass you bedtime, boy. Pass you bedtime.
Diane Cameron on the inside, good night. Thanks for joining. She's saying Elanga had a nice season, De Gea and Fred as well. Yeah, nah, I telling you, I feel I couldn't say it better. In terms of, De Gea being the most improved player when you consider even all the goals Ronaldo would have scored. If De Gea was on the other side, because we would have conceded more than
Yeah.
we'd have conceded more chances
We might
than
have been in
created.
relegation.
We end up
You know?
with 0 goal difference this season.
You understand?
Imagine
Minus.
zero.
We might have been a
0
minus,
difference.
right?
That
So
you can imagine Manchester United end with a 0 goal difference.
Hey,
Shame.
Manchester
real shame.
United.
And it cannot be what I'm saying is it
We
could have
are
been the
nameless.
minus if it wasn't for De Gea.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because this De Gea kept us in plenty games. He allowed us sometimes to go ahead and win games when the chances created were against us. So I mean, compared to how he was last season, and I mean, I don't want to repeat what Phil said because Phil kind of summed it up real good. De Gea had to get that one for me. I'm not taking anything away from Fred, but Fred was in a patch. Fred was a purple patch. He had the Lingard patch this season. All right. All right. So, fellas, biggest regressor. Biggest regressor.
Oh, gosh, boy.
That's
this
it.
nigga-
Well,
So here we're going on. No. Here. So
Plenty, boy.
I'm gonna institute some restrictions here, right? So I'm gonna challenge all the fellas, right? We only allowed to give one, and we can't repeat the one somebody else say.
And here this now.
God bless
I
you
want
first, man.
to call it. Let me add to that. I want to call it the Harry Maguire rule. We call it the Harry Maguire rule, which basically means you can't say Bruno Fernandes because everybody will not say Bruno Fernandes.
So all right. So let me establish that Bruno Fernandes is the biggest regressor. If we can't
Yeah.
use him, it's because that, right?
Yeah.
That's it. The next one. Yeah, tough one.
I want to go first no more then.
I see Diane pop up the other one there. That's it. Better you pop this. Better you put here on too. Better you put in it.
Right.
Rashford.
Rashford could win in this one too.
I'm telling you, better you put Bruno and Rashford aside. Bruno Rashford and Maguire. Put them aside for this one.
Chef tie we hand behind me back. Go look, Chef. Look, JP saying no typing Bruno.
Hey,
It's easy to say, but you know what, Ole? Let men talk. Because everybody, even though we might say Bruno, everybody will have point of view. So quiet. But I like that rule what Reem said.
The topic is
Everybody has to call a different thing.
biggest one, the biggest what?
The
Regressor.
biggest regressor. So
Biggest
Bruno.
regressor.
So Chef lift his own his sanction. So Bruno back in it, right? But whoever win first earlier, you can't repeat the person who somebody else said.
Let me say that, and this is my, and I'm being real critical because he was my player, the player that I would have, enjoyed most looking at for Manchester United over the last few seasons, and I would give it to Paul Pogba. Because I tell you the reason why, I put him up on a real high pedestal now. And you just be hoping for that magic. You're saying, well, when Pogba come back, we will see something. Pogba will do something. We go win some games. He will influence some games. He will bring out the best out of Ronaldo, the best out of Sancho, the best out of the team. And I think I was real disappointed with Pogba this season. I know he was injured a lot.
Pogba leave Old Trafford since Christmas,
Yeah. And I think mentally.
Real talk.
Yeah, mentally he was outside now. Mentally for Manchester United he was outside.
Yeah.
And as fans who are our favorite players now. You don't want to know that your player give up on your team now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think for me that was the most hurtful part of being a Manchester United fan this season. Seeing players give up
on your team. Give up on your team because we are not fans really are players now. We are fans of Manchester United, because player go, yes, we might not like the player, but we not going with the player like when I used to support Barcelona, with Ronaldinho. When Ronaldinho go on AC Milan, I go on AC Milan too. When Zidane and when I go with Zidane too. Whoever leave Manchester United, all right, farewell. We still Manchester United now. So seeing the players, with a seller shot this season and players who we are look up to, I think for me, Pogba would have been that player for me. Yeah.
All right. Before who win next?
So we can't mention Bruno or Rashford.
No, we could. Right. But before you go, Phil, let me just get some comments here, right? So JP saying here, like Luke Shaw is the biggest regressor, right? Arun also saying Luke Shaw really disappointed this season. This man was flying at the end of last season and during the Euros. I thought our left back situation was at least comfortable. Yeah. Simeon saying here probably won't be mentioned, but low-key Lingardinho from West Ham. Go through Phil.
It's between, like I said, it's between like you guys said, Rashford and Bruno, right? With regards to Bruno, there are times where people were comparing him to the likes of Kevin De Bruyne and even Andres Iniesta during the entire season, right? And I don't know what was going on with this entire club. I don't know what's going on with the players, but I think everybody was looking towards Bruno as the guy to score, I guess, our second most goals after Ronaldo, right? He was there to provide goals and assists. That didn't come, right? There were a lot of times where Bruno gave away the ball. There was a stat that showed that Bruno gave away the ball 57 times in 2 games.
Wow.
57 times in 2 games. And this guy
Man,
played a full 90 minutes every single game, So when we signed Bruno in the 2020 season, January, right? That half of the season, he was brilliant, right? But the Bruno of now is not the same Bruno we signed a season and a half to 2 seasons ago, right? So he probably is the bigger regressor out of the 2, if you included Marcus Rashford as well too, right? But yeah, that's it for me.
Bruno. So Nico, you was Paul Pogba. Chef, you next.
All right, so Pogba gone. Pogba is actually to the top of my list. And Pogba gone. Bruno
Bruno
gone.
gone.
We talk enough about Shaw. Make no sense talking about Maguire. There's not to laugh.
No, even though you refer to Maguire and Shaw, nobody called them fellas. That's so there's fair game, eh?
Yeah.
Well, that's too
Well,
easy, man.
You know the thing about it is why I don't want to talk too much about Maguire too, because I was never a fan of Maguire.
Right.
I have never been a fan of Maguire. And the thing is, England is my team too. So I watching Maguire a while now, and I just don't find Maguire done. I don't know what Manchester saw 80 million worth to buy that man. But so yeah, I just find you know what? You know what I'm gonna give regression to? Our Manchester United scouting and board for the lack of. We can't find players. We can't find players good. We used to be able to unearth players. We used to be able to bring players and make them into stars at Manchester United now. Now, I don't know who them does be look. Every other club, scouts has been all over Europe, all over South America, whatever looking. Like them, that's just be in Manchester, rock back, watching, playing PlayStation.
No,
Because I don't know who them does be
look to
watching.
see who City linked to. I know
Yeah.
about City linked to. They look at the hijack that deal
Yeah.
with more money.
Yeah.
And
the
For
thing
far
is-
bigger salary.
And you know what the sad thing is? We no longer could push up with chest and throw money at things because everybody have money now.
Everybody have money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I will say yeah. So that for me, the Manchester, the whole hierarchy of scouting and finding players and stuff, God boy, that regressed so terribly. So from when I saw the get rid of all of that now, the scouts and all them who they forever doing nothing, that make me feel good. So yeah, that's my answer.
All right.
I see.
Arun's-
Yeah, I see. Yeah, I was just about to get to this comment, right? And
Go ahead.
Arun is right? A lot of people will consider Sancho maybe a flop this season, but Luka Modric was a flop in Real Madrid's first season. Just got to leave it there, and the rest is history.
Yeah.
Luka Modric
Yeah,
was
and-
the biggest flop in Real Madrid's history, or one of in his first season. But Arun is right though.
And I think we have to give some grace to Sancho because he came into a team that was very, very dysfunctional from top to bottom. It was in a mess. So I'm glad he starts with Modric.
let me ask you all something. Let me ask you all something.
You could add Hazard to that list too, I guess.
Well, they have had second season.
We still waiting.
We still waiting.
Just kind of piggybacking off of what Reem just said there. Do y'all think then, based on how poor we were last season, that you're willing to give every player, and I mean including Harry Maguire, a fresh look in this new regime?
Only a few.
Yeah, only a few. Not everybody. Not everybody.
everybody.
Cool.
No, but let me see if I can put it like this, Chef. I'm willing to give more of the crop a chance once I don't see them as like fixtures in the starting 11. I don't know if you understand.
All right.
Yeah.
I find so you see what they say there? Nobody supposed to be guaranteed a starting spot.
Yeah.
Definitely can't. That is a recipe for these. And that is the thing about Pep. No matter how good he is on City team, but you could bench City players Pep like he doesn't know men playing fantasy league and is just trying to do we all kind of nonsense.
But Raheem Sterling had one of the best Euros, and Pep still put him on the bench.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Pepper business by
Jack
two
Grealish
first.
too. Jack
business.
Grealish hardly see play this season.
Yeah, 100 million.
Yeah. But
My biggest regressor, right?
Yeah.
I go in for Rashford again. Right? No, and I think it not out of this world to say Rashford regress. You know, and even if we were to argue, because I could always argue Rashford has been performing poorly, you know, even last season. But let me look at the goal contribution, because that was his defense last season. Right? Look at how much goals Rashford scored last season. Then how much goals he scored this season. Nick was asking the question. He scored 4 league goals and 1 Champions League goal compared to
Wow.
last season.
And you can't remember none of them, eh?
And I can't remember. The only one I remember is the goal against West Ham.
But all right, here. We
And
can't forget that one.
I become a boy who was critical in that one, right? Anyway.
Yeah,
So,
you
no,
can't forget that one.
but if we're talking about regression, Marcus Rashford name jumping up real high there.
Yeah,
Right?
definitely.
Simply because of his goal contribution and the drop in that. I talk about his attitude in flop, regression, he goal contribution.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what?
yeah.
I'm a little scared about with Rashford, and I'm really hoping to be wrong, that this boy hasn't plateaued already.
Yeah, boy, that is a big thing. For me, that's a
I'm
big
really
thing.
hoping everybody just had a bad season,
Yeah.
himself included, and next season,
Yeah.
I hope
Yeah.
so.
Unsung hero, fellas. Let me run through this one real. Unsung hero.
Alanga,
Yeah.
We could unanimously agree on this one, unless anybody want to go different.
Alanga,
yeah,
and then Fred.
my talk through were Elanga and then Juan Mata.
I go agree with fellas in the Mata and Matic, you know.
I'm at it, third,
Yeah,
Matic?
them fellas actually showed
Yeah,
in the back, when
Matic.
everybody else was pulling and walking. Them two fellas was actually the people who was pushing the
The
team
two
through.
men who, no matter what, you bench them, when you put them on, they're always professional and they're always just show up. And here's the thing, you know what's the thing too? That there's always look a class above everybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
I think that what are them Matic and Ilanga definitely to me right up there in terms of unsung hero. Yeah.
I guess there's somebody comment section saying here. Diane saying here that was the problem with Oli. Oli hardly rotated his squad, and as a result, burnout players. Rashford, Harry, Luke Shaw, and Bissaka Bruno played almost every game 90 minutes. Look at those players this year. Yeah.
Make football good, Gil.
Yeah. JP saying Elanga. He also saying Fred. Diane saying Matic and Fred. All right, I think all of those are good shouts, man. All those are good shouts. Yeah. And finally, guys, player of the season. Yeah. No, the club had to cancel this award because we didn't have none. Right. So, all they want to award a player of the season. No, we moving on.
I
What
know
is that?
that
What?
cancer.
I didn't hear that part you said. The club what?
Yeah, the
I know
club.
they
I
cancel
think
the
they canceled
function.
the function.
Yeah.
the
Cancel the
FA
You
function.
serious?
Yeah, the club
Yes,
the club normally has like these awards at the end of the season, right? And that had to be cancelled. The team was that
Yeah,
much
the award function get cancelled. Yeah.
Whoa! I
Who
didn't
don't
know
know
that.
But I
Who
think
don't
they're
know
still
what
naming a
player
player
this
this season. They're still I think they're still going to name a player this season.
Yeah, Ronaldo Gate.
Oh, right.
Yeah, Ronaldo
Yeah,
Gate.
Ronaldo.
I don't
If I had to say player this season, I could honestly go with Alejandro Garnacho in our under 18s, right? Because he did well in the under 18 final, and he was their player.
Yeah.
Of the season, right? So if
I like that.
if you had to step out to the first team, well, Garnacho is part of the first team, but if you had to step out of the first team, I would say Garnacho, and that's about it. Only because I don't want to repeat CR because he was the signing of the season earlier in the conversation, right? So
Yeah.
Simeon saying here, unsung hero, Ragnick. Ragnick tell us to believe our eyes. Way on the board had we thinking we was crazy.
It's a good one, Mike. Hey, I'm going with the sun. I'm going with the sun. Definitely. No, but he had to be the unsung hero. Because you know why? You know why? Because you know all that rubbish he play on that Ragnick eventually, right? At the back end. You know, man still respect Ragnick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, still have full respect for
Yeah.
Ragnick because
Because you know what it
Ragnick
is?
call it out.
Men understand what Ragnick came there to do. Ragnick
Yeah.
didn't come there to improve that side, you know.
You can't expose.
Ragnick came to show who really is supposed to be in this team.
Yeah.
And Ragnick give everybody opportunity to hang themselves.
Yeah, everybody guys. Everyone. All of them fellas
Everybody.
everybody jump on the rope. Everybody.
Yeah.
And it ain't no surprise that the guy has finally left to take full-time responsibility with the Austria job. The guy just
Yeah.
exposing everybody left, right, and center. The guy,
Yeah, boy.
the guy was
man.
our whistleblower. That's about it.
Yeah. Because down in the jugs, when you talk about the striker, he tell me he wanted a striker. It had strikers available. The scouting network.
You know,
They
you know,
nobody.
Them
They
have
don't
no-
know
yeah,
what.
them have nobody.
You know one thing Ragnick pointed out? The guy asked the board, why was money allocated to
Yeah.
Palestri, Ahmad, Donny Van de Beek, and they were hardly used?
Yeah.
And that had me thinking, you know, I was like, that's so true.
And
Yeah.
he was saying on that too, Phil, the amount of money that we spent on them, I think
About 120
I
million.
was 100. He said if we did tempt Bayern with that, we could have get Kimmich.
Yeah.
They were selling Kimmich for $120 million.
Yeah.
Understand?
Then our buys have been nonsensical.
Yeah. Poor.
Listen, I always say my thing is I am not one for the splashing out money to solve a problem. Because I don't believe that. But if certain players available, they're worth it. Joshua Kimmich? Come now, man.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Quality.
big
That is
player,
Come
quality.
on, man.
boy.
Big player.
That is quality, boy.
Even if we didn't get Joshua Kimmich last year summer,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Dennis Zakaria was available for $3 million.
Yep.
$3 million in January. $3 million. Bobby come
Yeah,
Bobby
Ragnick come out and say that. Ragnick come out and say
Kamara
he wanted it to. They say nah.
Yeah,
But
Bobby
then now-
Kamara just went to Aston Villa, and we could have got him as a defensive mid as well too. I know we got probably spent this entire summer trying to
A few
get
seasons ago, we could have signed Riyad Mahrez.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Riyad Mahrez was walking into Manchester team.
But Russia might have had the bench, so I just
Yeah,
think.
well, of course, you know, they had to push through their boys. So, and fellas, we have a transfer show to do soon, right? So don't worry, we'll get a vent on these, right?
Yeah.
So I've now that is done, right? Our award ceremony is completed, right? Even though the club didn't do one, we did one, right? I have a question for you, right? So I want to let you choose one, right? Everybody gonna get a chance to choose one. So in Eric Ten Hag's first season, right? If you had a choice, which position would you choose to be in at the end of the season, that is this upcoming season, if you could decide now, right? So the four options are these. You're finishing 17th place in the Prem, but you're winning the Europa League and you're winning the FA Cup, right? You're finishing 8th in the Premiership and you'll be Europa League champion. You're finishing 6th in the Premiership and you'll be Carabao Cup champion. Or you're finishing 4th place in the Premiership with no trophies.
I will take the
man. The first one is so extreme. 17.
yeah, that too extreme. That too extreme. That regulation. That working.
He dig deep down in the barrel to pull that one, you know.
What on God's green earth is Eric Ten Hag doing that we finished 17th?
Nah, he will last this season. He last
But
Yeah,
what's
season.
lads, in no season. If
You're winning. You're in Champions League next season. And
Nah.
you're in the ASI FA Cup champions. So
Nah,
you're playing Community
nah, he
Shield,
lost
Nico.
Nah,
You're playing Community Shield and
he
you're
lost
playing
what?
Champions League.
Nah, he lost his work. He lost his work.
Yeah.
He gone.
Nah.
17th.
Reed tried to
And
tell
I'll
me
tell you something.
get relegation
Go
by
on.
one position. Nah,
But
I
right now,
can't.
Phil, you're playing Champions League, you're playing Community Shield next season. One more level.
Nah, he gone.
Nah,
he
he
gone.
gone, boy. He
That's
gone
it.
for
What?
me, boy. Sorry.
And you know what, Olia? That is poor. I am telling Olia, this is let me go first here.
Choose one.
All
Choose one.
I
Yeah.
want, I my concern right now is not trophies, you know. All I want is a clear plan of a play. That's all I want. I want the board
So you're
back
taking
the
fourth
man,
place. So you're taking fourth
and
place.
I taking the fourth place
Right.
with no
wait, you said-
trophies.
You said the third option is 6 and FA Cup champion.
Sixth
I
and
sixth
Carabao
and-
Cup. Carabao Cup.
If
No,
we able,
sixth and
I'll tell you
Europa
something.
League. Or
If we
it's
able to pull into that fourth place, then that means we had to be playing some kind of football. Something was improving in our style of play. Well, we have no style of play. So all I want us is just to have some kind of direction, you know. I'm willing to take, listen, men talking about, boy, you can't throw the youths and them in that, and that is embarrassment thing. I said, dog, we get beat from Burnley and Norwich and thing. What are you telling me about embarrassment?
Yeah, fourth.
So, all I want
okay.
is this
Wait.
allow the man, let the man implement things into the team, let man implement things into the culture of this club, and let me go. I have no expectations.
And if for fourth place, it sounds like he has beaten the likes of Conte, David Moyes, and also Arteta. That's how it seems. That's how it seems to me, right? So
Yeah.
those three managers have more experience in the Prem than Ten Hag, right? So for Ten Hag to come in the Prem and just finish fourth over those three managers, because he's not better than Tuchel, Pep, or Klopp, right? So for him to finish fourth to those three, I want, as Chef said, wants some sort of style of play and philosophy being implemented over the 30+ games.
Yeah.
I could work with fourth.
I taken 8 and the Europa League. You know? And I'm gonna tell you why, right? Right. So definitely, as you have said, you're new to the league, right? That is one. So we get the benefit of the doubt. The Premier League is not everybody's year, right? So you will take some time to get into the league. 1, 2. We know this journey at Manchester or this rebuild is not going to happen in one season,
Nah.
right? And it is not going to happen in 2 transfer windows, right? So within this season, he is only going to have 2 transfer windows, this one coming up and the one in January, right? And we know the kind of rebuild that Manchester United needs. So if it is, he has to manage the squad, right? Manage the Europa League, manage the Premier League, and come 8th within the Europa League. Are you taking that? That is a success to me. And getting the funds to be able to be in the Champions League next season, to attract better players to the club, and by that time we would actually maybe build a squad that could compete, right? So
eighth with a trophy.
Eighth with Europa League, 8th with winning the Europa League,
Yeah, a trophy.
ensuring you have Champions League the next season, right? And the possibility of attracting better players. And by that time, you would have a squad in place that understand your brand and your style of football. And hopefully by that time, we will have something resembling identity, just to put the icing on the cake for the next season.
I honestly don't think. I hear y'all, and this is me really thinking positive. I don't expect nothing under 3 years. Real talk. I don't expect nothing.
But what is the expectation on that? What is the expectation?
Yeah. Well, no, hey, I just went with the choices given. But personally, for me, if we had to be real, I don't see we being able to say something under 3 years. I really don't. If it happens, praises. But I honestly believe, and everybody here is real intelligent fellas. This season coming up here, this off season, is so pivotal in the future of this club, because basically you're losing a lot of players. You have a lot of young players coming through right now. It has so much moving parts right now that it off season is not going to settle everything. That's why when Ten Hag say he ain't even taking vacation, he can't. He really can't. So I have no expectation. I just support him.
That's why I to say 8. If he come 8 for me with the Europa League, we get through.
Yeah.
My let me just get some comments here, guys, and then I go jump in on this one, right? JP saying here 4th place is the least headache. 17 is wickedness. My heart cannot take that here to
after the season,
is madness.
after the season, my heart could take anything.
But relegation by Chef by relegation.
Chef, they can't take 17th. Chef, because with that 17th, that last day, on the last of the season, you secure that 17th. You can take that. You can take that.
Bye.
You can't take that.
Dan, I think
Jody.
under all things, this season had to be the worst season as a Manchester fan must be in my memory, other than under Moyes, you know.
Yeah, but
if we even say like a 10th and like FA Cup and Europa League, I would consider that. But 17th, you're shy. Oh boy, you're 17th. You can't tell me last day season we fight him relegation battle with
like Everton this season.
But we playing Europa League final. We winning that.
Jody saying, Reem, give me our next option, yes?
I can't take.
We fighting relegation with Everton and Leeds again, and W Connection and all these men. I said, oh boy,
I ain't lying, eh? Frank pull off a hell of a Houdini with this Everton, you know.
Yeah, boy.
They'll be relegated next season. I
think Richarlison want to leave, eh? He say he want to leave.
Richarlison not staying in Leeds. That not happening.
Everton. Yeah.
It had too much clubs with one team. Oh, sorry, Everton. I'm talking about this boy, Rafinha. He gone.
Yeah, he ain't gone too. The just saying here, I strongly believe we finishing above Arsenal and Spurs this season. So I saying we finishing 4th this season.
Don't get your hopes too high, Devin.
I guess it's based on the options. It's based on the options. I think. Right, Devin?
I don't want to hear no talk about. Yes, that is what personally for me. That is when I know to my club really in the dregs when we studying that we had to finish above Arsenal and Tottenham. Arsenal and Tottenham is Manu. Nobody care about finishing above them.
That is bad. Watch me.
Imagine that.
You know, it's true. It's a fact. It's a shame, right? But we had to realize we can't be talking we can't be in conversation with City and Liverpool again. At least not right now. We had to be talking with Arsenal and Tottenham and West Ham.
Imagine that.
It's unfortunate.
And Newcastle who get money now.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you, Newcastle can get teams trouble next season.
What do you mean? And they're spending smart too, eh? I ain't seen no dotage yet. So fellas, Chef, open, this thing with my thoughts. I think that 4th place will show that Erik ten Hag would have adapted to the league, right? He would have been able to, kind of instill and implement his philosophy. It would mean that the players responded to it. You understand? Because at the end of the day, fellas, I just always say the Premier League is the bread and butter, right? That is our mainstay, and we'll be comparing that finish with everybody else. You understand what I'm saying? At the end of the day, when you qualify for the Champions League, Nico, the league is the first merit route. So I don't want to compete, or I don't want to be a cup team like what Jose Mourinho does do in that season when we win the Europa League. He gave up on the Premiership and he finished 7th or 8th to win the Europa League just to get into the Champions League. There's a backdoor route, right? I want to see that my team playing a proper brand of football to earn a certain brag right in the league, right? Rather than playing in a competition where anything is possible. I don't want to be a cup team. I don't want Ten Hag to come and make us into a cup team. I want to be a team that could compete with City and Liverpool and Chelsea and whoever, right? And finish up there and be jousting with those big boys as opposed to finishing 8th just to win a cup. The cups
We better than that. That is not Manchester United.
The cups go come. I know the cups go come. So
Yeah.
I'm saying here what's going on. Let my league finish be something that I can sit and say, hey, we play our brand, them fellas and them understood the assignment, we push hard, and we finish in top 4 here. That is why I got accept 4th place and no trophies. The trophies will come. I don't want to be a cup team.
Yeah, fair enough.
Let me tell you something, and you see that point Reem just made? We laugh at Arsenal not making Champions League, but I'll tell you something. Arsenal is going into next season confident, because nobody could have believed them with that squad, and Arteta could have pulled off that.
Pull off what again?
There was nearly make
Chef, come now, man. Don't stop that now.
Nah.
Which way?
Come
Them
on,
throw
but you have to be
throw
real
it up for.
Arsenal
They
is
throw it
normally
up
catch
for.
a better form and then drop off again. They do nothing that we are accustomed to.
Dan, but Arsenal still form was better than me.
It's true,
Yeah,
but
still
Arsenal
rubbish.
best season and our worst season end up in the Europa League though.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Still rubbish.
Um,
Still rubbish.
Jody saying here, I will start off the season with the intentions for my team to win everything until it's not possible to do so. What, Jody? What?
But that's everybody's intention. Nobody starting off to lose.
Yeah.
But you had to be realistic.
Correct. Simeon saying here, Tottenham ain't rebuilding with Conte. They coming to compete. Yeah,
Yep.
which may see that Champions League qualification day.
Yep.
You know, that doing something.
So
to
when
that
I
team,
get
Yeah.
Tottenham will spend money.
Yeah, definitely. And it had some report that they take out some Phil, you know what that? Where they take out about $100 and something million.
So right now,
Something-
Spurs,
Them have to take out a loan for that.
I think Spurs got about 200 mil to spend, you know. And don't forget
Wow.
the
Now,
Jeff,
but they will spend Conte. Conte prove his point.
yeah. So
He give all the qualification.
Yeah.
the sign Romero and Kulusevski and Bentancur finally as full team players because they were on.
Oh,
loan.
three of them?
Yeah. They just got Ivan
Yeah.
Perisic from Inter Milan, a guy who were after about 2 or 3 seasons ago. So yeah, Conte and Tottenham come to play ball, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we had a watch and see, but I believe
We had a backup dread.
we had a backup big time. We had a support and back Ten Hag. That is all I say. You understand what I'm
Yeah.
saying? We had a back Ten Hag. David just saying side note earlier here, Ralph leave because
Ten Hag.
Ten Hag and he was wanted conflicting control, so Ralph get cut throat because they both have to back. Ten Hag.
I personally believe Dan, Eric don't want no advice from nobody. He come to do his thing.
I think in terms of Ragnick would have seen that it would have some issues, right? I think
Yeah.
During the discussion, and
Yeah.
I think there is no way for United to be at this point.
Yeah, you know,
if
yeah.
they had that level of wrangling, then
But
yeah.
better somebody move on. I think it was the best shot for the club.
Ten
For the
Hag,
club.
Ten Hag brought
I
in,
agree.
Ten Hag already brought in Steve McLaren and Mitchell van der Hag. I don't think he want any more advice. Two men by his side, and then Ralph. That's just too much people.
Yeah,
in the team,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So,
Yeah, sure.
And then, I mean, as I was telling earlier, when they had asked Ten Hag the question in the press conference, his response to the whole thing about Ralph
Yeah,
being
yeah.
consultant. I think that
See, that was
the
the
writing on
club
the
thing.
wall.
See, that was the club decision.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that's my
He just
decision.
draw
That was
his
the
own
club.
So
lines.
yeah, so that
you
that,
know.
that tells you enough.
Yeah, he said that is on the club. He still that is on the
Yeah.
club. You know?
Yeah. So fellas, it was a good show this evening, you know. So thanks to Let's Go Chef Carabao Cup Parade, although we didn't get to laugh at Liverpool, but anyway. And Nico, you know, guys, thanks for coming in. All those in the comments, thanks for joining, thanks for sharing, thanks for liking. Although we could be back again to do our transfer show very, very soon because we're kind of watching right now Man United monitoring and keeping tabs and interested in players while other clubs signing players.
The window
Please tell me.
opening, but any window officially opening from the first, right?
From the
Yeah,
first.
but the first is only like for registration and thing of players now. But you could agree and sign players because City
Let
signed
me hope,
Haaland,
Manchester
you know,
already.
Aston Villa
Started
then signed players
players.
already.
Let me do a Bayern Munich. Have their players early and inside.
So that's what we want.
For
We
some reason,
play in
it's not
Europa,
like-
so we have plenty traveling to do.
I think Ten Hag has instructed the board to have certain players in by a certain time, right? So
Good.
We just hope so, right? We just hope so, and
so,
for the
boy.
board to get it done, boy. For the board to get it done.
Let me see.
Yeah,
We will,
that'll definitely see.
earlier we will be able to tell very early if things changing. You know,
It's true.
Correct.
It's true.
Correct.
From just watch what we do in the transfer and what we do with the players like Ghana, like these other youths and them. Let me see what they do. We will be able to tell.
now, if we sign some quality players and we still finish 17th according to Reeve, my Ten Hag, you gotta go, boy. You beat Aston Villa and Brentford and Southampton.
Yeah.
Well.
And Brighton,
You can't
Brighton
be a
and Barnsley
Manchester.
again.
As much as I say we giving you leeway, partner, you can't be in 17.
No.
17th, boy. But Reeve, you got me so
Nah.
confused, boy.
Crystal Palace beat
can't-
home on our way.
Yeah,
it has certain things.
Nah,
It has certain things as minimum requirements.
Yeah. Them small teams are to be put to the sword. Full stop.
Yeah, for real. So fellas, again, it was nice. You know, we'll be here again to look at transfers, right? So don't worry, stay tuned, guys, and you know we will be back. So everybody, have a good night,
Good night.
and we'll see you on the next one.
Yep.
Lessons, fellas.